Speaking of automotive stuff, in the automotive segment, here is some really exciting news that I'm happy about. GM will use Google's embedded Android Automotive OS in cars starting in 2021. It's about time. Oh my goodness gracious. Everybody, all these car OSs, and then you got to plug in your phone to unlock a good OS that you want to use, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Why? Why doesn't the thing just run Android like a perfect interface to begin with, and you can download whatever apps you use in the car right there? It makes so much sense. Now, apparently GM has been using some form of Google's automotive software for a while, but a skinned up sort of thing on it. This is going to be full-on embedded Android Automotive OS. It's starting in 2021, and it's going to have the Play Store right on your car, right within the dash. All GM brands outside of China will offer the native automotive version of Android, which is built on Android P. Now, just because you have native Android in the car doesn't mean if you're an iPhone user, you can't use CarPlay. CarPlay will still be supported on the display, even though it runs Android. And that's the type of thing that you got to appreciate on Google's side. Like, they weren't forcing manufacturers to choose one or the other. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, so it can run this natively. And because they know people are just going to run it natively. They're not going to plug their phone in. A lot of cars now have wireless inductive charging for devices, and the plug-in is less convenient when you pop in and out of the car. And so Will's showing off the Android Automotive demo, and look at that. I mean, what else do you want, man? Google Maps built into it. It's going to be everything you want on a display without the need to plug anything in. Funny thing is, you can also still plug in your Android phone if you want to use Android OS from your device.
So how does it get a network, like internet?
Oh, I presume it's going to be over SIM card.
SIM card, okay.
Yeah, many of these vehicles already include some form of mobile traveling hotspot, so I assume this will be serviced the same way.
So it's not tethered to your phone.
Well, maybe if you don't have the SIM card service, maybe you can tether it to your phone. But of course, it still works with the phone in the traditional sense if you choose to use it. So there is that option built in. But this to me, like, it's been so hard for these tech companies to interact in a intimate way with car companies. Car companies resisted for so long building their own interfaces. And not all of it was their fault, by the way, because when it comes to developing a car, a lot of this stuff has to be submitted so far in advance, and things are changing because the approval structure of a car has a different, it's not a piece of tech. There's a person in it. They could get in a car accident because they're distracted. So the approval process is different and it takes longer. And so they would have their interfaces in development years before they ended up in cars, and then they would feel so dated by the time the car came out. But now they're finally working together, and everyone's going to benefit. Anyone buying one of these vehicles 2021 forward, and I presume it's going to be in a large number of GM's vehicles, is going to have a far better driving software experience, car software experience because of this. And presumably, eventually, something that's ubiquitous. Just like when you pop open a laptop and you know what to expect, imagine jumping into a car and having a standard and going, okay, if you get a rental car, okay, cool, I know exactly how the interface works because it's running Android's mobile OS.
All the data will be transferred.
Yeah, it's all, let's just log in. Boom, you got everything you're looking for. You got your podcasts. I mean, he's got Spotify open in this demonstration video. It's good news. Cars are getting better, finally, from a software perspective.